Hello and welcome to Pokemon Trainer Go episode number 6. We'll be discussing about the new Pokemon Go update, Pokéstop event. If you're no longer trolling on your Pokemon breeding walk session, and grab those PGs trainers because they have decreased their spawn. So that means no more level boost, and you really gotta try to catch those Pidgeys because they are in, I don't know where to go with that. I really don't know. I just had a beard. That's all. It's all good. I feel happy and alive. I just had a Guinness. Did I just hear a voice? I think I heard the voice of a child. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Also, we will talk about the Battle Royale battle system. Who is ready for a battle? 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. Okay, I'm not talking about a bunch of guys over Home Depot. Their names are Juans, okay? We're not having 4 Juans battling each other. That's not right, and it's messed up. But it will be quite entertaining. Remember, 1v1v1v1. Only one Pokemon will come out of the ring victorious. And you have to really think about how you're going to actually do that battle because that sounds complicated and it breaks my head. Do you know that Splash, one of the most useless moves in Pokemon, is actually getting a new Z move and is going to be, I know, wait for it, it's going to be Splashendary. It's going to be awesome, guys. It's going to be awesome. Also, Pokemon, now there is an unofficial tool that you'll be able to create your new team before the Pokemon Sun and Moon game will be released. It's called Pokemon Team Planner, an unofficial tool created by Rechief. So many cool new monsters, so little time. Come on, get on the website and make your team and figure this out because a lot of things going to happen and you better be ready. And also, we're going to be getting a closer look for the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon. It will be exploring more of the creepy lore of the decks. So be ready. Roll the music. Welcome everyone to episode number 6 of Pokemon Trainer Go. Let us begin with the new Pokemon Go updates and reactions. Now, we have had the Pokéstop event that ended a day ago, and it was great to have Pokéstop dropping 7 to 12 items per swipe. Sadly, I wish it would have lasted a little bit longer so that we people could actually get more Pokéstops and get more stuff that, we don't usually get. Because we either get revives, potion. It would have been nice to actually have a little bit longer so that, give us more time, Niantic. Just give us more time so that we could actually really enjoy this opportunities of swiping those Pokestops. Also, the other thing that we should be happy that people that actually like to do the walking session with 10k eggs, guess what? We're not gonna get more EVs. Yes, we're not getting more EVs, and that means that you could now walk a 5K, and you're definitely going to get an EV that you deserve. Not a 10K, come on. 10K should be more difficult Pokemon, and EVs are very common over the area that I live. I'm surprised that they were actually 10K for the longest time, and Niantic decided to change that. So, congratulations, people who actually hashed your 10K EVs. You have a Pokemon that deserve to be in the Smithsonian Museum and send them over. It's the same way as the Gyarados that had that special move that we no longer have. You should have that in a museum and display it as $5. You should actually get more money. We actually have learned about the Lapras event in Japan. Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate @TraderTips Nick in achieving his goal in GoFundMe in just 4 hours. Congratulations, bro. You have become the most popular person on the internet, and you managed to get money to go to Japan. I am super jealous. Super jealous. You're going to the land of the rising sun, and you actually get to catch Farfetch and Lapras and possibly record a really cool episode of Trader Tips and then post it on YouTube. Yes, I am super jelly, bro. Send me a ticket if you have money. It's okay, bro. We could actually co-host together. I don't know. We could do something. I don't know. We could promote the show and finally get more listeners. Who knows? Who knows? You know what? Crossovers happens all the time, baby. Crossovers, Batman versus Superman, the Avengers. Why not have a trainer tip, join our show, and do an episode with us? Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. Well, I should hit him up and find out and try to get him on the show and see if we could actually have a Pokemon Go discussion and possibly a Pokemon Sun and Moon if he actually plays that game. We'll see. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the 1v1v1. In a ring, only one Pokemon will be the victor. We're talking about the Battle Royale new battle mode. On the mini episode, I actually left you a video that you should have watched. And I'm actually adding that link to that video as well for this episode too, so that way you know what I'm talking about. Of the Pokemon developers talking about this Battle Royale new feature. Now, Battle Royale looks pretty cool. It looks complicated because you could either gang up on a Pokemon or the Pokemons will gang up on you. So you pretty much have to find a strategy because you only have one Pokemon fighting 3 other Pokemons and they all have to battle each other until one actually becomes a victor. And they also talked about other things that they actually that is their favorite thing of what they have brought in Pokemon Sun and Moon. So whenever you get a chance, it will be great for you to watch that video. So that way you definitely know what is actually coming out in a couple weeks, and you pretty much know. No spoilers though. Now, that Splash is going to be a move, especially with the C move. It's gonna have a C move. Okay. Now, if you don't know about the C move is actually a move that you will actually be able to activate, and the Pokemon will be able to do a very strong attack. And for example, let's talk about Splash. Splash, historically, we have known that it's not a very good attack, and it does absolutely nothing. It's garbage. Now, with Pokemon Sun and Moon, if you have a Gyarados that has Splash, guess what happens? It will boost the attack. Now, it will still say that nothing has happened, but that Gyarados actually boosted its attack, so it will actually hit harder. And then whatever Pokemon's on the other side, I feel sad for that Pokemon because Gyarados is going to bring it, and that Pokemon should run because that Gyarados just boosts itself and becomes stronger, and then it's going to be an unstoppable force. And there is a website called Pokemon Team Planner that is an unofficial tool created by Reshift that you'll be able to actually set up your own team for you to actually kind of plan ahead to actually before you actually begin your journey into the Alola region. And it's pretty easy. If you go to Pokemon Team Planner, it's actually called it's called Pokemon Team Planner. So what's gonna happen? You're actually gonna have six circles with unknowns on there. Now all you have to do is just click. You select the type of Pokemon you're actually looking for, and then you start setting up the team. Now it will actually, after you're done, on the right hand side of corner of the screen, right underneath right next to the Pokemon, it will actually give you a plus sign. Once you click on that plus sign, it will show you the weaknesses this team is weak against. It will show you the variables of what are your weaknesses, and then you actually see what are you immune, and then you'll be able to see what the team will be able to resist. So that way you'll be able to see what exactly you're actually planning to do with a certain Pokemon, and that way you'll actually be ready. And it's a pretty neat website. I've tried it myself a couple times, and it looks pretty decent. So I will say, give it a try. Why not? Make up your team and go for it. Just do it. Because becoming a Pokemon trainer and becoming a Pokemon master is not going to happen by itself. You need some tools to make it happen. We're getting closer to the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon. I want to continue to explore the creepy lore from the Pokédex, especially now that Pokemon Sun and Moon will be released. There's actually going to be a lot of the old Pokemon coming back and with a new form. But now, I want to focus on to some of the creepy stories that the Pokédex has to offer about this old Pokemon into the new Alola region. And so we begin. Let's go ahead and begin with Psyduck. Now, Psyduck is actually very popular because of Misty. The gym leader used to have a Psyduck who had a lot of headache, and then, it all depends with the headache. It will actually reproduce a very powerful psychic attack. So it looks like this entry actually will focus on that. So here we go. As a result of headache so fierce, they cause it to cry. It sometimes uses psychokinesis without meaning to. So Psyduck has no control over its psychokinesis every time he actually has a very, very strong headache. So if you have a Psyduck, be wary, because that's not a good idea to have a Psyduck unless you have aspirin. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, Golduck, its evolution. It is said that the red part of its forehead grants supernatural powers to those who possesses one. So it was overhunted in the past. So that means that people hunt down Golduck to steal the jewel on their forehead, and they still get psychic powers? That's a little bit morbid, isn't it? Just a tiny bit morbid. Yeah, a little bit morbid. Now for Mankey, it says it can spontaneously become enraged. Everyone nears it clears out its rampages. So people pretty much leave the area, and then the resulting of loneliness makes it angrier still. So make up your mind, Mankey. Do you want to be with people, or you don't want to be with people? So make up your mind, man. That's not really creepy. It just, I guess, is interesting to think about Mankey being all emo Mankey. Hashtag emo Mankey. We gotta do this. Now, Primeape is second, his final form of the evolution. It says it has been known to become so angry that it dies as a result. If its face looks peaceful in death, however. What the heck? Primeape becomes so angry that it dies from a heart attack and it looks peaceful in death? So the only way for Primeape to be in peace is by becoming angry and then dying? What the heck? That is so weird. That is super, super weird. Now, last time we actually talked about Haunter on our Halloween episode, but we actually have a Gengar entry for Pokemon Sun and Moon that might be a little bit creepy. Now, let's go ahead and begin. Should you feel yourself attacked by a sudden chill, it is evidence of an approaching Gengar. There's no escaping it. Give up. Isn't that weird? And not a good idea. I don't know how people are still alive when there's Pokemon around in this area. That's amazing. Now, as we all know, Cubone actually wears his mother's skull. Now let's see what this time this Pokédex entry has to offer. Let's see. When it thinks of its deceased mother, it weeps loudly. Mandibuzz, which is the vulture Pokemon, Mandibuzz that hears its cries will attack it from the air. That is super messed up. You know what it reminded me of? That picture from the little boy in Africa. There's a vultures actually hanging around. Very morbid. That's very morbid. I'm sorry, guys. I was not trying to make you feel bad, but man, that's really messed up. We're gonna go over to Frostlass, which is actually a ice ghost Pokemon. When it finds humans or Pokemon it freezes them and takes them to its chilly den, where they become decorations. Interesting. I didn't know that Frostlass was actually into Christmas. That's amazing. It will freeze any hitchhiker or anybody that walks down the cave and finds it. It freezes it and puts it as a decoration. Hey, look what I got today. I got a hitchhiker. Look, I got a Pokemaniac over here. It's a nice Christmas indeed. Let's go ahead and do Sharkpedo now. It has a sad history. In the past, its dorsal fin was treasured foodstuff. So this Pokemon became a victim of overfishing. So now, this is actually talking about how the like certain places in Asia, like in China, they actually rip off the shark fin and actually use it for soup, and it is pretty close to real world. I was surprised. Let's continue. Now, let's go ahead and focus on Sandygast. Sandygast is actually a new Ghost Ground type Pokemon that is actually going to be in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Sandygast actually has an interesting entry for the Pokedex. Now, here we go. Sandygast is born from grudges that seep into the sand, such as from Pokemon that suffer defeat in battle. It can suck the life force of people or Pokemon through its mouth. Apparently, in the Alola region, sticking a hand into the Sandygast's mouth is a way of proving one's courage. A person who grabs Sandygast's shovel falls under its control. It uses this power to make children add sand to its body so it can become bigger. A Sandygast that loses its shovel may replace it with something like a branch or a flag, but is said to keep searching for its lost shovel. So, Sandygast, it is kind of like a challenge for certain people in the Alola region. And not a good idea. If it sucks your life force, you should put your hand in there. Just saying. Common sense. So now, for the evolution, Palossand, again, is still a ghost and ground type Pokemon. Let's see what the Pokedex has to offer. So, Palossand controls adults to make them build a sand castle, which provides it a disguise and defense. However, Palossand is able to replenish any sand it loses of its own. The shovel on its head rotates with Palossand searches for prey and is believed to function as a radar. It enjoys the life force of Pokemon by creating a sandy vortex. So, Palossand almost becomes like a quicksand. It just sucks Pokemon in there and then they can't escape. So it will capture small Pokemon and absorb their life force. That's pretty dark. That's a pretty messed up place to live in. I'm just saying, it's a pretty messed up place to live in. I can't believe that people have these animals around their area. This is crazy. That is insane. I could just imagine, like, some redneck in the Alola region saying, "Hey, Jimmy, I want you to put your hand in that Sandygast in there because I want you to be, like, very courageous and stuff." And I can imagine, like, little Jimmy saying, "No, I don't want to because, it will suck life force and I don't want to be controlled by this sand castle Pokemon / ghost." I don't know, man. I don't know. Just the idea of certain Pokemons controlling people, it's scary. Just saying, if a Pokemon can take control of your mind and body to actually increase its size, it's not a good idea. I'm just saying, don't touch it, don't put your hands in the mouth, or don't throw Pokemon into the dark pit of hell. I'm just saying, like, you find a Palossand, it's like, "Hey man, why don't we just try, I have so many Rattatas from Pokemon Go, let's just throw one in there and see what happens." Not a good idea, bro. That's Pokemon cruelty, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Throwing Rattatas, I know they show up everywhere, but throwing a Rattatas into Palossand, not a good idea. It's cruelty. You should go to prison, and who knows what happens in Pokemon prison. I don't really want to know, because that would be a little bit too dark to explore. That's all I have for today's episode. So if you enjoy our show, you can subscribe to it on Stitcher. Be sure to hit us up with a rating and review while you're there. Question and chatter through our email. Please mail us at PokemonTrainerGoPodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Pokemon. It will be at PKMNTRNRGO. And follow us on our SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/PokemonTrainerGo podcast page. And may your adventures be safe, fruitful, and grand, my fellow trainers. I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to Pokemon Trainer Go. Vikaraba signing out. Trainer, let's go.